So let's talk about audio, because audio is another really tricky. Well, it's tricky until you figure it out, and then it's basic. But the general rule of thumb for video is if you have bad you've heard Matt Waite say this, I'm sure. If you have bad audio, you have bad video. Everyone says it. Audio makes or breaks video. That's the bottom line.
So you can get away with like iffy video, but if the audio is bad.
If your audio is bad, it's much more noticeable than if your video is not so good. Like clipped audio, staticky audio, soft audio that's not loud enough. All of it. It's much more noticeable than video being slightly out of focus or slightly off color. And video is generally easier to fix those issues too. So, all right, these are the Sennheiser wireless lavalier mics that we have, and they just have batteries that pop in like so. There's an on-off button here. You can just push that and you see the little, maybe? There it is. So it comes on. I have over on the left-hand side here, I should have done the other one first, but on this left-hand side there's little voltmeter meters. It's on mute right now for some reason. Why is it locked? We'll figure that out. So what I need to do is turn on the other one, so we have some audio coming in. And this just mounts on top of the camera. There's a shoe up here. Let me plug the other one in, put the batteries in, turn it on, see what it does. Yeah. Yeah, I was at the Saudi, Saudi student organization. They had a thing on Tuesday and they were doing henna tattoo. Ooh, don't ever do that because that will ruin the mics.
Don't think about it.
All right, so I turn this other one on. Now you can see I have levels bouncing around in there. Testing. Now there we go. Now we got levels. You can see that bar on the left side's jumping up and down when I talk. So we've got something going from the microphone to the transmitter. Then we come over to the receiver and we look at that one and say, here, let me see here if I can make it visible on here. Focus. Locked, yes I know. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Testing, yeah, okay, we got audio. So sometimes, this is good. Now I have a signal that's going from the microphone to this. So I'm in pretty good shape. Then what I have to do is figure out where this plugs in. So I slide that on the top. And on these video cameras, there's actually quite a few, well, 3 options, I guess, not quite a few. You got 3 options for audio. One is right in the front here. There's a built-in microphone that's garbage. I mean, it's not a good microphone. It'll get it'll pick up everything. It'll pick up the air handler. It'll pick up my shoes like squeaking on the floor. It's just, I mean, it's a wide range mic. It'll pick up all kinds of stuff. Not good for most of what you want to use it for. The other option is a built-in. Well, it's not built in, but they're installed on all these cameras. The shotgun mic. So all right. So the shotgun mic is this unit right here, and that is just screwed onto the top. There's a wire that comes down and plugs in, and if you look right under here, you'll see there's input 1. And if I pull that out, there's input 2. So there's 2 external inputs for microphones. This one is almost always plugged into input 1, but you can always remove it if you have a reason to. I don't know. I generally leave it. And then I usually would plug this wireless into input 2. So now I've got 2 different mics running to 2 different inputs. And then we turn this camera around and look at the other side and see what exactly can we control in terms of inputs. So you're probably familiar with stereo sound, right? Left channel, right channel. They can be different. So back in behind the monitor, behind our screen here, we have controls for inputs into channels. So it's a little bit backwards because it's referring to channel 2, and then you can select the input for channel 2. Now, input for channel 1 is limited to internal, which is this. And you can see they're both set to internal. That's weird. All right, so when I tap on this,
It's the other camera that you
oh yeah, that's this camera. Here. So internal is this one. That's not giving me anything, and the wireless mic isn't giving me anything. So what I want to set this up as, and remember what we plugged in over here, the wireless mic was plugged into input 1, that's this, and the shotgun mic, this one, was plugged into input 2. So I can say channel 1, I don't want the mic, the internal mic, that's the garbage one. I set that to input 1. So that's now reading audio from my lavalier mic, that's the wireless. And then this one I can actually switch to input 2. So now I've got channel 1 getting its audio from the mic, the lavalier. Channel 2 getting its audio from the shotgun. And then I can control, there's another thing I have to set up over here. So input 1 and input 2 have what's called phantom power. That's this plus 48 volts. Line is like if you're recording from like an aux cable from a MP3 player or something, you're just recording audio in off of that. That's what line is for. Mic is for a microphone like this that has its own power. The mic plus 48 volts actually provides power back through the cable to the microphone. And that's what the shotgun mic actually needs, phantom power. So what I would do is for input 2, right? Yeah, input 2 needs the mic plus 48 volts. Right now, input 2, if I'm talking, channel 2 is input 2, right? So channel 2, input 2. Input 2's got no bars. There's nothing bouncing. Channel 1 is the lavalier mic, so if I go get this mic and I talk into it, you can see that goes nuts, it goes hot. So this is working okay, we think. We don't know for sure until we listen to it with headphones. But channel 2 is not doing anything, so I have to turn on the power for channel 2. So I switch that to mic plus 48 volts. Then, there you go. Now you can see, if I scratch the foam, I'm getting a little signal. So if you say something over there, it's going to pick your, because shotgun mics are good at just kind of generally catching a general vicinity in front of them. They're cone-shaped, kind of like a shotgun. You know, you shoot it and it kind of spreads out a little bit. That's what a shotgun mic is for. But the problem is if there's anything behind you or beside you, it's going to get all that audio too. That's why a lavalier mic is good for like an interview. If you're pointing a camera at someone you want just their voice, this has like a 5-inch radius that it'll record around. If I'm outside of that, if I take this over here, I don't get nearly the level as if I have it right down here. It's probably half. So these have a limited recording radius, which is useful for when you want to get very specific audio. All right, so we've set up channel 1, channel 2, our inputs. Monitor has to do with the headphones, and this is where you actually can tell if you've got audio. Because up until this point, all we've seen so far are just moving levels. We can't tell if we know it's some sort of audio, but we don't know what it sounds like. I have no idea what it sounds like until I plug my headphones in and listen to it. I mean, it could be very staticky, it could be just breaking up and scratchy, you don't know, so you gotta have your headphones. It also has, you have some control over volume of input too, because it could be really low and look like it's doing okay, but you just have to listen to it, like to hear it. So if I were, and this sounds bad because I'm not even anywhere near this microphone, but if I were to go, I pick up the microphone and yeah, I can hear it, I don't hear any static. That's probably the biggest thing is, we don't want to hear, we don't want static. If we can avoid static, that's a big thing for audio. Interference, sometimes the cables are bad, sometimes the receiver and the sender aren't communicating quite right, there's something in the way.
Like I had a lapel mic that sounded like it was talking like a radio, like in an aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like
Probably that's the bad microphone.
That's a bad microphone.
Probably.
Is there any way to fix that? Or
Get a new microphone. Yeah, that's the way to fix that. So we've gone through, we've made sure we have levels, we have, one last thing is you can actually control, there is volume control here. So I can control the input volume, and usually it's set on manual. That's to keep it from, if it gets too hot, it won't break anything, because you peak, sometimes it'll break. Some of the electronics can get overworked by peaking audio. But you can manually control the level of input right here. Can't really see it, but there's some dials that you can turn for each channel.